So it is that time again. Yes, it's World Cup time. 3 days to go until the World Cup kicks off in Brazil. Yes, it's not quite the home of football. I would have thought we are the home of football, but they seem to play it better than us, or they have done up until now. And ever since the strains of World Cup Willie played England to victory in 1966, somehow the country has decided to have a World Cup song. Of course, 1970, famously, it was Back Home. Well, Reading man Phil Harrow's Hope and Glory could soon be the song of the summer after its chances of being picked up as the official England song rose considerably due to Gary Barlow and HMRC. No, enough said, really. Phil's with him in the studio. Hello there, Phil. How are you? We'll put it on straight away and have a bit of hope and glory in...
I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge, cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!
Can't go wrong with Jeff Wayne, can you?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all good.
Come on, England.
He doesn't mind, Jeff, does he?
No, he's been supportive throughout the whole process, yeah.
Okay, well,
He
yeah,
loves
no,
it. He loves-
yes,
he
I'm
loves
sure he
the
does.
whole
Yeah,
project,
it's a great piece of music and nothing else, and yeah, you can hear it as well. Tell me more about what do you think a World Cup song, a football song, should do?
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea was when I came with the idea, it was very much when they said they weren't going to do a football song. That was 4 years ago. I was quite disappointed. I was literally up a ladder thinking about what I'd just heard and turned over the radio and on literally to another BBC radio station, and it came on the radio, and it just literally the idea came into my head, and I just started singing a chorus, England, come on England, to the chorus of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. And I always loved that as a track, and always loved it as a child. And then it just seemed to make sense. I spoke to my brother, who within an hour had come up with some lyrics, and the thing just snowballed, and we almost made it happen 4 years ago, and now here we are with a song that has been with Andy Serkis. We've kind of had a choir, we've had the professional 48-string orchestra to re-record what Jeff Wayne did in 1976 and do all the electronic parts and all the percussion and everything that he did in 1976, the drums, the bass, and we re-recorded that, and it's been an amazing journey. Abbey Road Studios, and an amazing thing, really. I know.
That really is quite something, isn't it? Obviously you have links. You weren't just up a ladder,
No, I mean, I knew Andy, actually. I was working for him. I'd been working in his house. I used to work in films, and I got into the building trade after that. And then I kind of met Andy through doing up his house and sort of got talking, generally on about films and stuff. And it was literally while I was been working there, I came up with the idea, and I then thought about the idea, and then met friends who had a friend who was in the music industry, and she'd scored for the likes of Radiohead. Her name was Sally Herbert, and she had been in a band called the Communards, and I played her the track which I had on the computer at the time. I'd sang into my computer, and I thought she was going to tell me it was absolutely rubbish, and I said, if it is, just tell me. And she said, don't worry, I will, because the music industry is so tough. And she actually said it's quite good, and from there I found the choir master, and then we did a demo. And then the whole thing with the War of the Worlds with Jeff Wayne, I sent him the track and he loved it, but it was very late in the day, and they were already promoting, Sony were already promoting a Dizzy Rascal track and James Corden, and I really did come at the idea too late, and so it almost happened but never quite. And then in a way it was probably best that it didn't, because we didn't win the World Cup, and then it kind of died. But now I've got a good feeling about this, and I went through putting it back in its box, and 4 years on I've managed to kind of reinvigorate it and literally resurrect it from the box and give it a new lease. Like, recorded it, mixed it at George Martin's studio and at Jeff Wayne's studio, so it was quite a special.
I love the way you just got a Lord of the Rings star, Andy Serkis.
I know. Well, Andy, I know he lives in where I used to live in Crouch End, and I've sort of known his wife, but he's such a nice guy and such a kind of easygoing sort of family man. And when I needed somebody to do this speech, I couldn't think of anybody. I was driving through and I saw Andy's car, and I literally beeped him. He pulled up, and I said, have you got 5 minutes? He said, well, what's up? And I said, look, I've got this idea. You might think it's crazy, and he said, yeah, come on. We had a coffee, and I played it. He absolutely loved the demo, and I said, look, could you do Henry V, you know, Shakespeare's Henry V, once onto a breach, and he said, yeah, I love it. And so we set it up in his front room the next week later and recorded it. And it's got some amazing sort of sound recordings. Not just what we've got the whole speech as well. So it's quite special. And Andy's career has just gone on got bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's incredible what's happened to him with Planet of the Apes and Star Wars. And so, yeah, it's amazing to have that. And it's a special connection, really. And he's just done this sort of spine-tingling kind of performance, and also not just the Henry V. He does these words, he says these words which my brother and I wrote together. It's kind of passionate words about sort of believing in yourself and not giving up. And so it's about football, but it's not just about football. It's about anything really. And in a way, what I've been trying to do with this track. So, you know, fighting adversity and. You know.
Yes, I always think that sometimes we've gone over the top.
Yeah, with the build negative. Yes. I've always think that although we're patriotic as a country, I always think that we always try and. I mean, I think they've even bought one out. Though I think there's one recently just been bought out. The Monty Python bought one out, but it's fine. I mean, we all know how funny it is when England lose, but actually, it's quite depressing. And I think what I tried to do was not always think on the negative side. I think, come on, we can do this. We can win it. And maybe this could get to the England team and make them believe that they can do it. And that was always the idea. It's never about the fame or anything. It was always about to try and, if I can help, maybe I can make... Because I've always wanted to win the World Cup. I've gone through the pain. I was born in 1966. Never saw them win the World Cup. So I've always...
I have.
Yeah. I've never experienced that. And I've always got very, involved. And if I can help in a little way, and that's what's happened. And so it was about the passion, it was about belief, and hopefully the team will believe as well, and that's what I want.
How are you feeling? I mean, you're obviously a football fan. How are you feeling with 3 days to go on Saturday? England play Italy.
I've always thought about this. I always felt that Roy Hodgson, I quite like what he's doing. I quite like his style, and it's not dissimilar to what they had in '66. It was all about the team then. It wasn't really about stars in the same way that it has been. And I think this time, they're a young team. And what have they got to lose? You know, there's a few obviously experienced teams, Rooney and Gerrard and Lampard, but apart from that, they're quite a young, kind of almost unknown team, and I think that they've got massive potential, and I think they could really go all the way. So, I've got belief. And nobody sort of laughs at me when I say it, but stranger things have happened. And
well, the start actually to our World Cup in '66 wasn't great.
No,
we ended up winning it. So
but the funny thing is, it's a hard group we've got, and if we can get through the hard group, why not? We always start quite badly, don't we? And sort of struggle through, and then have an easy group, and then start to become a good team. But to beat some good teams at the beginning would really prove that we can do it. So
yeah, well, fingers crossed. And just finally, what about you? Music here, we got Hope and Glory. What else have you got?
Well, I make films for businesses. I gave up the building trade and got back into what I loved, and I direct and produce films. I've got a company called Incredible Films, so I make sort of creative, commercial films, and a lot of the people who help me raise the money to do this, they're all people I've worked for, so they love what I do, and that's how they love the story, and they just got part, and they've loved the whole experience, because it's been, who gets a chance to do Abbey Road and record where the Beatles, in that Studio One. It was just an amazing day, and the whole producing experience, and now finishing it, and just getting Jeff Wayne's backing and support throughout. And Andy, of course, and it's been amazing. And I think this has got longevity. And of course, we didn't just do that. We did Land of Hope and Glory as well. We recorded the whole Pomp and Circumstance, March #1. So we did that, and that was like being at the Proms, and that was amazing. And I'd never been to the Proms, and to have that, and we've mixed 3 versions of that. So you've got an EP which people can buy as well, which is quite special. 3 different versions: electric guitar, Jimi Hendrix style, kind of Star Spangled Banner version of it, which was really amazing. We had a guy called Matt Backer doing the guitar for that. And it was fantastic, and I've learned a lot about music publishing and about record deals, and I've learned a huge amount in the last few weeks. It's amazing.
Well,
I loved it as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, if England win, that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Anyway, Philip, good to meet you. Thank you very much for coming in today, Philip Harrow, and it's Hope and Glory. We'll play that again later. It's now 13 minutes to 5.